Pennsylvania Congressman Bill Shuster is the chairman of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, which is central to this entire discussion now, and he was just briefed by the NTSB. Congressman, welcome. Good to have you here. We're sorry for the loss of what happened in your state. 7 individuals lost their lives on Tuesday, on the other evening, in this horrible crash on Tuesday evening. What did you just learn from the NTSB in that briefing, sir?
Well, first, being at the site, it's a terrible tragedy. Our hearts and thoughts go out to the victims and the families of this terrible accident. And also, on the site there, we're working diligently. The emergency responders who've been doing a great job of trying to figure this out and uncover the folks that were missing and have been injured. But we learned from the NTSB that obviously the reports are the train was going over 100 miles an hour on a curve that just couldn't take it. We have yet to determine if it's operator error or mechanical error, and the NTSB in the coming days or so will figure that out. But it's a terrible tragedy, and we need to make sure that Congress is focused on this. We get all the answers, and then take actions if necessary.
I have to ask you, what did they say about the missing? Whether or not they believe that there are any other individuals that they haven't discovered yet?
Well, there's one person missing. Again, we were on the site there. They were working, moving things around. They still, at this point, don't know where that person is.
We hope they get some answers for that family. We saw that little boy, and it's really what they're going through is very rough. So we hope that they get some answers terrible. Very soon. It really is. We've also listened to the debate that has come up almost instantaneously about whether or not more money could be brought into this issue to fix these tracks, to fix any, upgrade these trains, and whether or not that would have made a difference. Right. I want to play a little sound from Ed Rendell, the former governor of Pennsylvania, and get your reaction to it. Let's listen to him first.
Sure.
It doesn't really matter what speed you go. You shouldn't get a passenger rail train that's supposedly going at a decent speed around a curve like that curve in Frankfurt. And you should have seen the train itself. It was like it was made out of Play-Doh. It was so crushed and so mangled. It's unspeakable.
So he's saying, even if you're going that fast, this shouldn't have happened. What do you think?
Well, first of all, that locomotive is one of the new locomotives that Amtrak has just purchased, so it's state of the art. And you gotta. There are speeds. If you're in a car, if you're in a plane, if you're in a train, you just can't go faster than the curve will allow you or the grade will allow you. So again, the train was going too fast for the curve. Everybody knew that. That's why they had regulations in place as to what speed you travel that curve. So again, and you mentioned about the money issue. Money wouldn't necessarily stop this from happening. Again, they have a new locomotive there. They're deploying new technology. So we have to take a look at this and see, again, is it operator error? Is it mechanical failure? And then we can make some decisions about money. But I think everybody needs to stop for a second, not have knee-jerk reactions, and figure out the facts first.
Yeah, that sounds like a wise approach. When we talk about this transportation bill and infrastructure spending and the suggestions that we need to spend more on infrastructure, we got lots of people tweeting us saying, what about the $800 billion in stimulus that was largely supposed to go to these shovel-ready projects around the nation that we've already set aside billions of dollars to do these kind of projects? And people say, why didn't it happen? Where's that money?
Right. Well, and again, that was a lost opportunity. The dollars weren't spent on capital investments, the things that would have lasted and improved our infrastructure. But one of the things our committee has already done is we passed out a passenger rail reform bill back in March, passed through the Congress in a bipartisan vote to have significant reforms to Amtrak, how they operate, how they spend their money, how they operate with the states. So we believe this reform bill that we put through will make Amtrak a better system for all the people, especially here in the Northeast Corridor, which is one of the most important rail corridor in the country. 200 million people travel this on rails with transit and commuter rail and Amtrak. It's an important corridor for the country because of 18% of the population live here, 20% of the GDP is produced here, and it's on about 2% of our land mass. So this mode of transportation is extremely important to the region, and we've got to make sure we do what's necessary to make sure it's operating properly.
So that means more money?
No, not necessarily. It means the operations have to be properly done. Over the years, that's why we put this reform bill in place, because Amtrak needs to function better. They've improved, but they're still a long way from operating the way they should operate. And again, to spend the dollars they have wisely, to partner with the states. The states are willing to do that. And so this reform bill that we've passed out of the House on a bipartisan vote is something we believe will improve Amtrak's operations significantly. It's not always dollars. Certainly, at times it is dollars, but we've got to have operations that function at a high level.
Good to hear from you, Congressman Shuster. You're the head of the chairman of the Committee on Transportation in Congress and at the center of this debate right now. Sir, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Martha.